otherwise known as Hotepish. For people who like to talk shit about us who know the real information, F y'all. Because we talk about the people that those out there in the mainstream love and hold dearly. We talk about them because most of them are no good for black society. And we love black society more than we love individuals who push political agendas.
Or personal.
And personal. Live on Restream in the studio, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter. Thank y'all for joining us. We have Dr. Randy Short back by popular demand. How you doing today, man?
Oh man, another day, another mass incarceration. As we count down to the ultimate victory of Joe Biden, which will guarantee that millions of black people will have permanent housing behind bars. And so I'm so enthusiastic about it. No more First Step Acts, no more criminal justice reform. Just put things back to like they were under Obama. Don't you miss it? You miss it. You miss it.
You said, hold on one second. I'm over here doing some social media thing. Just kicked me off one of my pages. Mm-hmm. I'll put that back in. I'm about to go into this. Let me work on this, Dr. Short. I got you on here. We talking about what's going on in politics and everything. Where do you want to start? I'm gonna let you start. We got RBG. No, I don't even want to call her RBG. That's a red, black, and green. We got the Foghorn Leghorn hen, Miss Purdy from Warner Brothers.
No, she looks like Colbert from the Late Night Show. Send him 20 years into the future, he'll look just like her, except she has nicer glasses. I mean, all the flags are half-staff, and here. But look, honestly, I'll just say this to you. I worked in catering as a butler, a waiter, a bartender, and frequently I would see her at the museums and all the other stuff. And one thing I remember most about RBG, or whatever you want to call her, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, is that if she looked at you, from what I could see at the other black people I've worked with, she was looking at you like you weren't really there.
Oh, one of them.
Okay, that's one. And then two, she was cheap. I never remember her chipping anyone.
So she was working with Scottie Pippen. Okay.
So
keep talking, Dr. Short. I got to turn something down in the background. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
She was cheap. That's what I remember. So, definitely no big spender.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, and
man, I was getting feedback like a motherfucker. Go ahead.
Well, and I'm chewing Kamala flavored gum. It's really nasty, but it's interesting.
Kamala favorite gum? What the fuck is that?
I think it's catfish. I didn't know I had catfish flavored gum. Blackened cat. Well, actually, brown sauce catfish, because there's nothing black about her.
And that damn thing. That's the thing that people gonna need to realize about her, man. Like, did you see that picture with her in the Timberlands? What the fuck is up with that?
Well, I think she's trying to come out of the closet.
Okay.
Bulldaggers wear those shoes.
She did, but she had the ones, the construction worker ones. She didn't even have the fly ones that you wear up and down the streets. She had them brownie paper towel Tims on.
Well, she's trying to tell you something.
Well, maybe because we got her coming up. Then we got somebody who has. We're gonna go deeper on all this stuff as we go through it. And then you got the other person who did tell us something, Andrew Gillum. Did you see that eyeshadow he had on? What the fuck was up with that?
Well, it looked better than his splotchy complexion when I saw him back in March. I never sent you the pictures. I can send them to you.
Yeah, send her.
When he came on CNN with Bakari Sellers and all of them on the Wednesday after Super Tuesday. I think it may have been the 7th of March.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked horrible. I didn't even know it was him. So actually, it's interesting. Now that he's come out of the closet, he's making himself look better for dudes. I mean, when he was pretending to be straight, he didn't even try to make himself look nice for his wife that he, basically she's like a stand-in when I guess he doesn't have a white male meth addict to sleep with.
So she was his for real beard. Right.
Well, I don't think she's a beard. I mean, I think she's a mohair trench coat. I mean, this is I mean, but let's just help her out now. Look, she's the dark-skinned lady. She probably felt like her prospects were limited. Let's just talk about how Black people. My father talked about this thing called UBGD, ugly Black girl disease. And I don't think that dark-skinned people are ugly, but a lot of people in this racist, colorist, complexion, and color-struck nation see themselves as ugly. And by the way, a lot of these Black folk, they don't just think that they're Black and ugly. They know it and they act on it. And I'm going to say something to you. You'll notice this. Have you ever noticed there seems to be a preponderant number of dark-skinned Black people in law enforcement, and they're the meanest, nastiest officers, or they're in some position to control, whether it's a prison guard or whether they're the person at the subway station, and they're the ones mean to everybody. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, hey, the Lieutenant, it's this one Black woman that was just promoted to, I think her name, she was first Black deputy chief. Her name was Regina Scott here in LA. And it was funny because people made a big old fuss about it. And she's a woman that when I was at my last job, if you I'm gonna see if I can pull a picture of her while I'm talking.
You don't have to.
No, I want. I want my camera getting fucked up. But no, but she looked like if she looked like if Cicely Tyson worked in the kitchen her whole life. But Cicely Tyson 92. This bitch is like in her 30s.
Cicely Tyson is not. Cicely Tyson looks good in her 90s. You're saying that this woman looks like some burnt cookies without the tray.
That's what I'm saying because Cicely Tyson is beautiful for what she is, but
Cicely Tyson's good looking.
But this chick's 31. Your skin shouldn't be like that at 31. My thing is this:
it depends on what she's eating or who she's eating.
This is the reason why it was an issue because at my last job, they had the police come in. This was like right after the Trayvon Martin murder had happened. No, Eric Gardner. This is Eric Gardner when he got choked out in New York. So they had the LAPD come to my office and talk to us because we worked in the community. They wanted us to get more information and tell us they're on our side. Well, basically, that chick that got promoted to be, they're celebrating her as the first Black deputy chief, she came into the office and she conducted the meeting. And she proceeded basically to say the police are innocent. And basically, when we fuck up Black people, we're doing it because they deserved it. And that's how the whole meeting went. And I got up and I almost got fired from my job because I wasn't going to sit there and take that. And I talked back to her to the point to where they had to end the meeting early. I said that to say that's one of the same women that Christopher Dorner had on his list because she was a bitch. Now they parading her around. Y'all can look her up. They parading her around as the first Black woman deputy chief. She ain't shit.
Well, there are a lot of them. There seems to be a bumper crop of unmarriageable harsh-looking sisters who seem to be put in positions to abuse Black people. And no disrespect. it isn't like someone like Lupita who's gorgeous looking. It isn't dark skin, but the combination of not taking care of your skin because you hate it and having an attitude that's like battery acid and water, um, it just doesn't go together. I mean, to be ugly inside and outside, I mean, there's no way to go through life. I mean, if I could just say that. So, but I'm going to say to you that they pick unattractive black people that hate themselves and put them there. And this goes back to the Mammy and the Plantation. They didn't always have the sexiest woman as Mammy. She's probably the meanest, the most gruesome.
They picked the people who couldn't get past the fifth grade. They picked the people who still mad at the world because of the jokes they got in the fourth grade, and they're going to take it back on the rest of us the rest of our lives.
It's not the jokes in the fourth grade that hurt the most. It's the ones they heard yesterday. You know, have you ever been around someone that was ugly that didn't like people laughing? If anyone laughed, they'd get upset because they thought that you were laughing at them. So everybody had to have a sad face so they wouldn't think that anyone thought that they were as ugly as they thought they were.
Yeah.
So you do have people who believe that they're ugly and they act on it. This is a big problem in our community. And I don't really know how you correct it, because if you don't like yourself, no one else is going to like you. And it's not an easy situation, but I will say this. People need to confront people about that. And I would say that just because you think you're black and ugly doesn't mean you have the right to treat us like this. I would say that shit out loud. You know that you don't like the way that you look. And because you think that you're black and ugly doesn't mean you have the right to mess over us. Okay. And if you don't like being black and ugly, I mean, your insurance could cover, I mean, a hefty chemical peel if that's what you need. Not that, I'm saying that you shouldn't be the color that you are. But you see, we don't do this as a community. We don't deal with reality. We don't deal with self-hatred. And I'm telling you, there's some very good-looking people. When they go to the mirror, they see the creature from the Black Lagoon. They don't see who they really are.
Yeah. They see a sea urchin.
Well, actually, sea urchins are tasty. These ladies are not. And I know, I mean, I love, what's it, unagi for sushi? It's delicious. They probably, you probably need an air sickness bag if you ate them. Look, look, I've seen people, and they have really, I don't know about LA, although you guys are color struck in California, but it's bad in DC too. I'm going to tell you something. In 55 years ago, there was a Supreme Court case based on the track system. The track system was a system for predominantly black school district, which is the District of Columbia, where students based on their color were assigned educational tracks. If you were light skinned, you got the academic track. Mm-hmm. If you were my color, you got the business track. If you were darker than me, you got the trade track. And if you were really, really dark, you got the basic track. And it's awful. This system, frankly, they say it's been outlawed, but I think it still exists because they tore down my junior high school this year, Shaw Junior High School, off of 9th and Rhode Island Avenues in Northwest Washington. But I recall being in the 8th grade when I noticed that on the upper levels of the school, they had they had a basement, they had a mezzanine, and then they had an upper floor, and then they had another set. They had a higher floor, subfloors. The Students on the upper floors were of a variety of complexions.
Yeah.
The students in the basement were almost exclusively dark skinned. I absolutely hate that when I think about it. Okay. And when I went to school with white people, we were all niggers. Everybody black was a nigger. Everyone, even the teacher was called, "Excuse me, Miss Nigger Teacher." I mean, this is how they spoke to the teachers. God, excuse me, Miss Nigger. I have a and it was normal. This is just how it is, right? The black teacher would be called nigger by the students, and they would have to say, "Well, if you want me to answer your question, you need to call me Mrs. Thomas." And I'll say, "Okay, all right, Mrs. Thomas, the nigger teacher, can you?" And it took a while for them to like take nigger out of their mouth, but everybody was a nigger. When I got to DC schools, I remember a kid trying to start a fight with me, and they were so angry about it. Trying to figure, what are they mad about? And so he says, "I'm mad with all the yellow niggers." And I said, "Chinese?" And he exploded. "No, you. I never thought of myself as anything as black, but black, and I guess nigger for the white kids again. I never thought of a yellow nigger. I had to get around black people to discover. I never thought about my complexion. I was black. I learned with the self-hatred in Washington, D.C., that I'm a different kind of nigger from the person that's Lupita's color, which didn't make any sense to me. But it was really bad. In the fourth grade, my teacher segregated our class, and only the light-skinned students could sit in the front. Everybody darker than me was put in the back. Now, I was the smartest student in the class. I didn't think I was put up front based on how I looked. I was there because I was the smartest in the class. But I noticed a lot of hatred towards me and others. I didn't do this. I remember a teacher's aide named Mrs. Tillman. I was playing with the kid on the playground, and she began yelling at me. "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm playing. What are you doing?" And I was doing something. And she came and she snatched my hand away from the other kid who was darker than me playing. "You can't play with them. Who do you think you are? Get away from him." And the kid never forgave me. I didn't snatch my hand away from him, but he took it out on me. I'm not like that. I can't do anything. You get? So this thing is so bad.
So deep.
I couldn't do anything to get. I didn't do it. The best I could do is go to the swimming pool and stay at the Banneker swimming pool until my skin color got darker from being sunburned. Like if you look at my face and you look down here, it's much. I had to try to stay outside. I don't want to be, but so I don't like that shit.
Yeah,
I'm a black person. I would absolutely. I'm so glad that I'm not lighter skinned like certain people. I don't want anything to do with that. Yeah, so I would stay outside to get darker. But guess what happened? When my skin color got darker, I got lower grades in school. So I got punished for being too black.
And you have like 4 PhDs. So if anybody knows.
I've got a PhD and a couple of masters, but it doesn't matter. Look, this color thing is really bad. So
they don't care.
It's really, 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 really awful. and it's so bad. If you look at what's her name, Serena Williams, who now looks like Jean Anthony Ray from Fame. She does. She does. She looks like him. I don't know why she want to look like him. He died from AIDS in the 90s.
Hey, you're right. Hey, you're right about that, man.
But she's kind of like
lately, her sister Venus has been looking like that singer Sylvester. I don't know what the fuck is going on with them.
Well, they hated being dark skinned, and they're Jehovah Witnesses. And Jehovah Witnesses that are black, a lot of them have a heavy black self-hatred syndrome. You can see that with the Jackson family.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them they've had more nose jobs in China, and just one black family.
They had more nose jobs than the Kardashians.
Well, look, and the thing is that, the Jehovah Witnesses believe that when God comes back, he's going to make everybody white. That's why you'll never find a black Jehovah Witness fighting for injustice around racism, because God's going to make their asses white. That's what they believe.
And I want to thank y'all for joining us here on Hotepish Intelligent Ish Talk. Thank y'all for joining us in the chat room. We got about 100 people here in the chat room between Facebook, YouTube, and all the different platforms. They loving your outfit, Dr. Short. Please donate to Dr. Short's Cash App. You guys see it here on the screen if you feel so inclined. If
Biden,
you don't donate shit.
Biden for president. This is going to be the new fashion. This is the Black Power. This is the Biden Black Power outfit. You can get yours for $19.99. I got mine. I'm ahead. Come on, y'all. This is good. Come on, y'all. This is Biden wear. And the hat, you get the African suits with the hat. Well, Joe Biden is like, he's changed it. I mean, now there's a hat. See how he understands our culture?
He understands
so and it's black and white together. It's not segregated. So this is a Joe Biden Black Awareness business suit, and you can get one too.
That's a Joe Biden vacation outfit, y'all. For those who want to purchase your own, you can go 3 to 5, 7 to 10.
Don't leave home without get a Joe Biden suit. Let's celebrate him for all the things he's done for black people. I love Joe Biden.
Thank y'all for joining us in. We're going to get in talking about Joe Biden a little bit. Intelligent Ish Talk. You here with Dr. Randy Short.
Oh, and we were talking about RBG. Now,
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Let's talk about that wench.
Let's just deal with her real fast. Ruth Bader Ginsburg supports either passively or actively eugenics, okay, which basically says we need to have a perfect race, and you know who are the imperfect people? Us. So we need to get killed off. And all the people crying over Ruth Bader Ginsburg are either they're moronic jack-off freaks, insubordinate, self-hating black feminists, racist white supremacists, radical lesbian feminists, and sodomites. I mean, look, she was the one that she supported Obergefell. She actually thinks that civil unions between 2 men and 2 women wasn't enough. You know that she performed gay marriages?
Yes.
Yeah. There's nothing. Look, heaven's too small to make room for her. Okay? That's all I have to say about that. I repeat what I said earlier in your broadcast. She was cheap, and you could tell she didn't like black people.
And for people who want to say more, like, look, I heard a lot of people saying, because I pointed out on my Facebook and on my social media, and there's a lot of arguments that she called the whole Colin Kaepernick thing stupid. And then there was a whole class of black folks that were going around saying, well, but she apologized. She said sorry. Mammy said sorry. Look, you know what? People, look. Let me say something real quick, Dr. Short. Black folks, listen real quick. When we apologize to them, they don't take our apology for what it is. We have to apologize and put money behind something, and they still don't take it. So why the fuck we going around accepting them in these empty apologies? The woman in her 80s, when she said it, she knew what the fuck she was saying when she said it, And then if she was really sorry, she had 9 opportunities this past June to say yes to reviewing qualified immunity cases. Qualified immunity cases, exactly what the fuck Kaepernick is kneeling for. We need to put these people in jail. She said no. So
she's a racist, and you know what? For all the black people, all the little ignorant black people who need to be loved, they don't love black folks. They don't love themselves. They don't care about God or right or wrong. They just want white people to massage them on the ass and love them. You know, enjoy her. Okay, but if she had it your way, you guys would have been squashed up in someone's womb and made into marketable tissue for biotech industries. So if you think that you should be mashed up and made into some sort of food or biotech product, hey, have it your way. A lot of people, you know, I'm so tired of sorry being something. You know, do Jews accept sorry from Germany? No. They take reparations and indemnities. Let that broad do something. She didn't do it. She's gone, and well, you know, she had a long life.
And it's over now. Like Luther Vandross said, it's over now. Mm-hmm. You treated niggas so bad. It's over now.
I'm trying to think of the name of Hitler's architect.
Oh, and no, I was talking about Goebbels. That's
and I forgive me. I should grab my other phone so I can look for his name, but now this is on my phone. I'm coming up. Speer. Albert Speer. Albert Speer is the only Nazi that said he was sorry for what Hitler did and what he did. Do you think that was enough for Jews not to demand reparations or for him not to go to jail for some period of time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so people who commit crimes against our community, sorry, in the words of a Temptation song, sorry is a sorry word.
Very. Because if it's not followed up by any kind of reparative action, is just a sorry ass word. And black people have gotten conditioned to accept.
But look at what the other thing that RBG did was they just did this thing for LGBTQ folks to get coverage under the 1964 Civil Rights Act for jobs. She voted for that. So she helped white women.
Before you go even further, for black people questioning what is racism, racism is taking a law that we all know was clearly intended for black people, that law ever being used to help black people, and then using that law and switching it and making it for LGBTQ. That's racism in practice. Because
sure it is.
That's when we look at people, they don't call you nigga. They just say, okay, we made this law for you niggas. Now we about to make it for the rainbow people over here. And fuck y'all, if you ask. And not the black rainbow people either. Just the white ones. That's racism in practice.
But you know what? I have a problem with black rainbow people these days. Whether it's Andrew Gillum or anybody else. They don't call out white gay folks on their racism.
Nope.
They're too busy trying to be their lovers. So they've basically written themselves out of the Black Nation book for putting their libidos ahead of their people.
Man, why do they do that, man? Like they really do put they Johnsons ahead of the Johnsons, ahead of the people.
Or you mean they put their booty?
The Johnsons ahead of the last name Johnsons.
Their booty in front of their people.
Well, I don't know if you can say it any better than that.
Well, it's okay. Do it. But I just want to say to you, brother, a lot of people about to get a comeuppance. This country is not going to cease to be a country that's going to the right. It's going to continue as people feel intimidated that they're not going to be the dominant group, at least numerically. So there are going to be a lot of folks in these interracial relationships, and for all the little sisters that like swirling, if a white guy bumps you off, you're not going to get help like if a black dude did it.
That's the difference.
It's going to be rough, and I can just see a whole lot of sisters getting cashed in for insurance claims for white males, and they'll find all your asses out in the chrysanthemum bed. And
for people,
I didn't know she was there. I thought she took a trip back to Africa and left me. It's going to be all, and they're going to say he has his whole life ahead of him. I don't think that he should be punished like this. And they'll make so many excuses as they kill black men and women in these relationships. And like you heard about,
I want to say something real quick. For people, if you're a first-time listener, thank you guys for listening. We have a lot of people in the chat room. If you think Dr. Short is reaching, I encourage you to get this book called Killers of the Flower Moon. It's a book it's called The Osage Murders, where it was these Native Americans who owned a bunch of territory in Oklahoma. These white folks found out there's a fuck ton of oil below it. They couldn't buy the land, so they married into the tribe. And within 10 years, the whole goddamn tribe was gone. You think that shit stopped? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. We're going to see, and perhaps the racists are going to do the thinking black people a favor because we can't get other people to wake up. So maybe it's like natural selection, as much as I'm not into evolution or Darwin, that the racists have to bump off the black people who won't wake the fuck up. They don't want to think, they don't want to bond with. So they get shot and killed. They go to a bowling alley and your kid's skull gets crushed by a bowling ball because he has mostly white friends and they don't know how it happened. I've heard about these kind of things.
Kind of stories, though, man.
Look, I'm from Virginia. And I had someone trick me to meet them in the woods, and these folks were chasing me with hatchets. And I learned, don't be anywhere by yourself with people that you don't know in places where you can't get to a lit area or to a safe area. And it would have been their word versus mine. And of course, their word is higher because they're white, even with your own black parents. Nope. So a lot of black people going to learn through blood and suffering.
You there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Your phone, the audio changed.
Hold on 1 second. Someone tried to call me.
Oh, shit. Dr. Short cut offline. He'll come back. Anyway, let's just someone in the chat room said, "What book?" The book is called Killers of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon. That book is a book about is the Osage murders. What happened was the FBI, when the Native Americans got their land, you couldn't take it, and so J. Edgar Hoover literally started the FBI by getting a whole bunch of white men to marry into that tribe so they can then take the land. Now them white men still own all that oil land to this day. So yeah, get that book. It's called Killers.
Well, they got Hawaii.
Go ahead and get that short.
They got Hawaii that way.
Yeah.
They marry people that are wealthy, and of course, black folks, everything is genitalia for black people. Oh, well, they had sex with me. We're equal. Okay, so, the way I came in her and the way she sweated, I felt like we were united, like I've never been with you, right? Or the black woman, it's not true that white men don't have schlong. White men are good. And y'all stop saying that because you haven't tried a white man. And if you have, you can't. White men are good. And white men know they're more sensitive and more appreciative of us. And
until you call you a nigger bitch.
we get more respect than what we get from our men. Our men don't value us. Okay, so until they get divorced and take all the kids. It's look. Here's the thing. Most people don't know, but about a third of the marriages now among Black women are to white men. Let's see how that is about 5-10 years from now. I have no comments. Be happy. Enjoy the greener grass. But if you get dogged, I don't want to hear it. I don't feel empathy. It's a choice you made. I feel the same way if you're with the white dude as if you're with the no good Black dude and people warned you and you didn't want to listen. I don't believe in this. I have to be empathetic to you when you make stupid decisions. We as a community tolerate too much stupidity. I don't care who's doing it. Whether it's the dude who thinks that he's too much man to afford one condom, but he's not enough man to even buy Pampers for one of his babies that he's not the married father to.
Sorry ass niggas.
Yeah, well, and then sorry ass mothers. It seems as if they go searching the world for the most irresponsible person to procreate with. I mean, we need to have a Survivor episode where the Black women find the no good Black man to have a child with, and they go through all these changes to get away from the good men to find the no good dude to hook up with. I mean, that would be a hell of a Survivor episode.
Man, it would be, man.
That would be great, man. Can you imagine?
You would see it all the time. People, like, you would see, like, some of the women that seems like had the most kids when I was younger. One time I was at a party. It was me and two of my closest friends. We were all in our third year of college. We all had our shit like basically going and like getting going, but you in college, so you don't really got money like that. But you knew you was on your way. And there was this other dude in the party, and he flipping through the photo book. This before the cell phone camera thing got big. This is when people had the little small photo books. And he's showing pictures of his kids. And one of the chicks was like, "So what's this one's name?" "Oh, his name is Damon, man. I ain't seen him in 2 or 3 years, but one day I'm gonna get back in contact with him." And they was falling over this nigga. I'm like, he telling you right now he's gonna leave you with some kids and I'll fuck with you.
No. You get it all wrong. Those photos were proof that he had strong sperm. You didn't have any photos to prove that you had strong sperm. So he, therefore, is the most viable man in the room because it's proof that his nut, I don't know if you buy seeds. I mean, I'm here in Kentucky with Dr. Nancy, and you can go to certain seed stores, and they guarantee you that the seeds will germinate. You pay a lot more for them than the little bogus shit you get from the dollar store where like the germination rate is about 10%, most of the shit dies. You can get seeds that germinate like almost 100%. So what he was showing is that if I put some yeast in your oven, the bread's gonna rise.
I get that, but I'm like, bitch, you can't take care of them, no.
Uncle Sam, look, I wrote a poem called "My Nigga's Uncle Sam."
Yeah.
Girl, if you're miserable and your troubles are getting bigger, hook up with my man, Sam. He's my nigga. So, no, they don't have to be responsible.
And here's the thing, Dr. Short. I'm not here even talking about, I'm just talking about the ones who are reproducing because a lot of women ain't having kids. They're smarter than that. I'm talking about these are the ones bringing in another generation.
But a lot of women are killing kids, too. And so to me, that's not smart either. I believe, frankly, let's just do this. Black people get sex 150% wrong. And I'm not talking about gay people. I'm talking about dumb fuck straight black people. Okay. They treat sperm like it's spray paint. You treat your vagina like it's a toilet, that everything should be dumped in it. We are not thinking about forming families or lifetime alliances that build institutions. People thinking about busting a nut, or I'm screwing this dude, screwing this woman's man. And this stuff is animalistic, it's shallow, it's empty, it's STD riven, and we love it. The fallout from the sexual promiscuity and immorality of our community, we haven't even begun to feel the punishment, the number of sisters out here that are sterile after they hold their way through college or school, whatever, then they finally decide to settle down. There's a huge number of sisters who have pelvic inflammatory disease from chlamydia, who can't have children, or their fallopian tubes are more bombed out than the lower Ninth Ward of New Orleans from how they've been carrying on. Okay? And their brothers who are immune carriers of HPV and all kinds of stuff. So we have a generations of black people who sterilize themselves through their filthy lives. And there are women who steal babies to try to have, because they can't have one because you screwed people with dirty dicks. You're not a butch, you're not bi, but you're trisexual. There's nothing you wouldn't try. There's nobody you wouldn't lay down with. And forgive me, black men have a despicable pimp culture where everything is a dick. They think that if they screwed Ava Braun, Hitler's mistress, that they could get her to be a Black Panther. Everything is they dick.
Hey, everything is a dick. They can solve all problems.
I bust a nut. they feel like they're on the moon. You know, I busted a nut last week. I busted a nut. And I busted a nut, man. I busted a nut last week. I busted like 4 times, and I'm gonna bust it this week too. And it's like busting a nut is like going to the Super Bowl. Maybe it is. My only question, when I had the little Negro flipping through his photos, a guy named Murphy I went to junior high school with, who had about 5 kids by the time he's 16. And he came to school, Shaw Junior High School, to flaunt the pictures of his kids. And everybody was like, man, look at all the kids you got. And I was like saying nothing. And people kept saying, man, you got so many kids. So I didn't say anything. He says, well, what do you think? I says, how many of them are you feeding? And he said, fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you. You know
That's
what?
The measure. How many are you feeding? That's the measure.
He never brought the kitty pictures back to that class. You're understanding me? But everybody said, you're an asshole. You shouldn't have said that. But my thing is, he was acting as if he was better than us, that he had these kids he didn't take care of. And my thing is, I would have been impressed at 16 if he was taking care of these children. I knew a girl named Diane Booz. Diane Booz had 7 kids by the time she was 16. And you know how you see cows walking and flies trailing them? I guess that's how dudes that didn't like condoms would follow her.
She was a community pussy.
Well, no, I think that this girl was the victim of sexual abuse. And let me just say this. The Black community is perhaps the most dishonest community I know of.
Very.
Because we've got all of this rape, all this pedophilia, all this abuse, all of this violation that goes on.
Within the family.
And within families, outside families. And alongside this, we have the Jezebel bitch complex and the shiftless pimp complex, where half of the ladies want to be tramps, and then the other dudes want to be pimps, and they don't even have a car to roll around in. They can't even afford fishnet stockings for the people that they call hoes to wear. We celebrate this stuff, and we should hate it. We should despise these people. But you know what? There's so many scummy, trashy people in our community until we say, well, there's so many bastards out here, we shouldn't use the word. I say bring the word bastard back. It needs to come back in fashion like this black and white stripes I got on. It's not cool to not be responsible for the children that you make. It's hold on. It's hard enough to be black in America, and you don't have a father and a mother.
Yeah. Good.
Basically, you had two people that had too much K2 and too much Ronrico, and they decided to make a sperm sandwich together. And then, well, basically, you're lucky if you have a grandmother or grandfather that's willing to underwrite the sexual licentiousness of the children that they have. It's no way to be. I meet too many people who don't know who they are, don't know anything. Their father's a secret. Their mother's a secret. The circumstances of their death is a secret. Or their birth is a secret. Everything's a damn secret to cover up for the fact that your mom and father was slut-ass whores who didn't give a damn and treated sex as if it's like pissing in a public restroom instead of creating life.
You're 100% right, Dr. Short. And I want to bring it tie it all in for the people. Again, thank y'all for listening. Like and share the video. Like and share, like and subscribe and share the video. I want to bring it in because people, like, you're listening to Dr. Short talk. You hear the jokes. You hear the judgments. You hear the criticisms. But I want to ask you, do you hear the solutions that we're saying along with it? This isn't just shit talk. This isn't just let's point at black women. Let's point at black men. He's giving and we're giving solutions while we're talking. Some of the solutions, a lot of these solutions we can solve on our own. Just like what we had on our last episode with Jayla, and she was talking about, on the other end, some of the things that we're talking about. She was a victim of a lot of the people that we're talking about on my last episode with Jayla. It was her mom that knew what was going on. It was her own grandmother that knew she was out on the streets doing what she was doing and didn't do nothing about it, but in church every Sunday. The solutions is we got to clean that shit out of our community on our own. The outsiders ain't going to do this. We have to start making ourselves and the people within our families accountable to the bullshit. If you're a man, and look, everybody like fucking, put a condom on, block it, do something. Before we even get to abortion, do something to take care of it. If you can't take care of a kid, don't have one. There are ways not to have children long before you even get to the abortion phase. If you can't take care of kids, don't have them. If we solve these things on our own, then that's going to solve 80% of the problems that white supremacy inflicts on us. But we got to call out the bullshit first, and we got to solve this shit first.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree. My thing is, one thing that I need to say, black people that are young have been let down by the previous generations, and it seems as if generation after generation fails the younger generation through
We do.
Omission through commission, through inaction, through incomplete action, through procrastination, through a simulation, through doing everything but building the kind of infrastructure, the kind of economic, social, and cultural base in which if someone wants to screw when they're 16, they can get married when their dick is hardest. It'll catch up with it when their brain develops at 20. But, why is it that this isn't happening? And I'll tell you one reason is that as long as we don't like who we are, as long as we want to be something other than what we are, we're going to be in this bullshit tailspin that we've been for 300-400 years. And it's ridiculous. It doesn't have to be like this.
It really doesn't have to be like this. And because like we always talk about, like, y'all, everybody who listens to me, y'all know I'm very good at pointing out history and white supremacy and all that stuff is good to point out. But the reason why that only matters, we can only do something about it if we know who we are. And if we operate at our best. We can't defeat that when we're always giving credit and giving esteem and giving, acknowledgement to the lowest within our society. Certain things we got to stop celebrating. Just because the dominant society feeds us to us, don't mean we got to eat it. We know they pushing Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, and the song is what it is. But I'm not even here to even criticize them for the little bullshit song they made. But look, we at a time right now where shit's real serious and the kids are watching. Just because they release it, don't mean we got to put all kinds of energy behind it and back what they say.
Well, you know what? If you made a record talked about I love my wife and I'm not gonna screw nobody else, it wouldn't sell. They say, fuck that corny nigga. And if you don't screw anybody but your wife, she's gonna screw someone behind your back, right? So it's your fault. I mean, you're the one that made her, you confused her by not cheating on her. You made her up her game by, like if your wife can't cook, you got some takeout.
You're right about that, man. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about, go back into talking about our upcoming election and Kamala,
Kamala
that's going around. Kamala, sweet
Kamala.
big Willie Brown's little gal thing. I want you to, because I was talking to my wife about this. I want to talk a little bit about that California bathhouse culture up in these, and like what.
I'm not from California. You'll have to tell me about that.
Let's talk a little bit about that. I was talking here in California. The dynamics is if San Francisco leads the politics here in California. That you got to be in that whole little San Francisco inner circle to do anything big here in California. And Kamala Harris was part of that whole sexual deviant, allegedly, quote unquote, Gavin Newsom environment of just sexual deviancy. And you hear people like Judge Joe Brown talk about this. You hear others talk about this, but then you see it play out here in California through legislation like this new, if you're LGBTQ and you have sex with a child within 10 years of you, that the judge can then decide if you get registered as a sex offender or not. And then Kamala Harris came out talking about she supports this legislation. For people who talking about what's the dangers, we need to get Trump out. We need to get Trump out. I agree. I don't like Trump either. But look, ask yourself, what are you getting yourself into? You're getting yourself away from Trump, but you're getting someone who supports legislation that makes it cool for gay pedophiles, not just all pedophiles, only gay pedophiles to be selectively chosen whether or not they're prosecuted purely and have to register as a criminal, as a sex offender. That's who Kamala Harris is.
Well, Kamala. Yes, you have to say it right. And I'll help you go. Kamala. Yeah, I could say Kamala, but it's hard. Kamala. No, look, it's real simple. I think Kamala is like a super freak. I mean, I'm talking about Rick James street song level. Okay, and just you know, and I think that in order to move in certain areas, you do have to do all this filth, and that's what people like. So, but when she walks like she has like a, a dildo the size of a yardstick ruler. You know the big rulers the teachers had they used to hit people with. She walks like she has those things strap on that size. Look at how she walks, man. It's very interesting.
I'm saying right now, Kamala Harris walk like she got a set of nuts. Like she
Well,
got
I'm
a
saying
set
she walks like she's got a brass strap on. Maybe she used it on Willie. And
I think
probably,
she got
that's what
balls the
said.
size of Jim Brown the way she walk.
Yeah.
It's just something about it in her whole demeanor. Kamala, you ever notice? I want people to notice if you ever go back and look at like her Breakfast Club interview, anytime she's talking about locking people up or her record on mass incarceration, she always laughs before she goes into start trying to explain that bullshit away. Like it's funny to her that she locked so many people up.
Well, no, what's funny to her is that black folks accept her because we're so stupid and shallow, and that she gets to pass herself off as black. She's made a career off of destroying us, and we're going to make her the most powerful woman in the world. I mean, I would think we were stupid. I'd be laughing too.
Hey.
I completely get Kamala's laughter.
In that laugh too, she kind of laughed. She has that. She has that big ugly laugh too. Like,
well, it matches her spirit. Now, I was just trying to think. I think that Biden. Did you see him on CNN? And he didn't answer anybody's question, and he started talking to people like he knew them. But when you can't tell your own wife from your sister, it's not really convincing.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, this what so much privilege can do for him. Okay, maybe he's got some like super rich white man edition of it. He's got the good batch, but he's not up to it. So we're looking at President Kamala, who said the Kamala administration, and then she had to take it back, sort of like she made Willie Brown take it back.
Man,
or pull it out.
See, well, and that's the thing. You hit on a key point because Biden isn't looking good. First of all, Joe Biden need to cut that fucking 1989 Steven Seagal shag off the back of his head. Like, what are you doing, Joe Biden? You Joe, like when he talks, he don't know that he's repeating himself. He looks like a liver spot. You know what I mean? He looks like that little puppet King Friday on Mr. Rogers, and he's gonna be gone within 2 years. So you're looking at a Kamala and Nancy Pelosi White House, and these are people. Let me give you guys another bill that Pelosi and Kamala support. Early this year, California passed funding $15 million for transgender. If you feel that you were born a man and you're a woman, or vice versa, the state of California got $15 million on your surgery. That's the kind of shit that Nancy Pelosi likes and Kamala Harris likes. At the same time, black people can't get jobs. Schools are going to shits. They're talking about bringing in 11 million new immigrants at a time that we can't. When you have the most unemployed people in American history, why the fuck do you want to bring in a whole bunch of new people when the people here whose great grandparents pay taxes can't get a goddamn job?
The answer is that they're not black. That's why you want to bring them in. Now, I just want to say to you that Kamala, if she becomes president, we're damned. And so, but I still think that Joe Biden will probably will probably lose just by virtue of the fact that people, they can tell that he's not all there. It's sort of like, when they're working on a body in a medical show or movie or a drama show, and they're defibrillating someone and they flatline and the doctor says he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Joe Biden's gone. He's basically finished in terms of his mental acuity. It's not there. And basically, he is running on white male privilege, which Trump is running on too, but he's got more finesse. Trump at least knows where the White House is. I mean, and you have to give Trump, even if he's not telling the truth, all these falsehoods he comes up with, just like that. I mean, you present the situation. Donald Trump has some kind of an answer from his perspective, which says that he's thinking about something. That's without the teleprompter.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's lying, it's his lies. He made them himself. Joe Biden needs help lying.
Mm-hmm. He does. Now and here's the thing about Joe Biden. He's always been full of gaffes. I mean, before he got dementia like he has right now, Joe Biden has always been someone who can't stay on message. And now that he's getting old, it's getting even worse.
He stays on message. Kill niggas. Jail niggas.
About that.
Oppress niggas. He's never left that message.
He's never left that
and
message.
Everything that he does translates to dog black people. I think it does. He's on autopilot of hating black people.
He is.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was thinking, and I just want to say that Trump is got a lot of white shy voters
mm-hmm.
who don't want people to look down on them because they don't drink Sauvignon Blanc. So what they're going to do is say that they don't support Trump and they're going to vote for him. And I was watching something on CNN, and Anderson Cooper, who looks like an albino version of Chicken Little, it's just, dude, you're out here licking penises and you're criticizing a person who's a mature father of adult children. I don't think it translates to a lot of people. That's all I'm saying. And now I really I'll tell you who I'm finding interesting. Mitch McConnell.
That motherfucker right there with no chin. And Mitch McConnell, oh my God, that he is interesting. He look like a Captain Crunch nugget. Not Captain Crunch himself, the actual cereal nugget. That's how Mitch McConnell looked.
Well, I'm not surprised. No, he reminds me of Granny. Jed! Come in the house, Jed!
Hey,
Mr. Drysdale's here, Jed!
He looks like an uglier version of Miss Doubtfire. You right about that?
No. He looks like Miss Doubtfire?
The uglier version.
Okay. Well, he's got a lot of folds in his neck. He probably has a billfold in his neck.
And they haven't said a damn thing about the second stimulus or whatever. That's just kind of like going away.
Well, that's because they don't want to stimulate us.
They don't want to do that.
Well, but we need it. I mean, they're going to have to give a check. I signed up for my second thing of worker welfare today. I can't wait to get mine. Hey. My financial blessing.
I'm telling people right now, if you get an EDD, if you get unemployment, if you're out there listening to all that's listening, thank you for listening. Feel proud. Do not be ashamed of getting your unemployment. Don't let these people who don't qualify shame you. Don't let these people shame you. Look, this government give out welfare to trillionaire sugar plantation owners. They give out welfare to all to Elon Musk. Anytime he wants some goddamn money, he get $1 trillion. Don't feel bad. Look, if you know somebody that's out there doing them cards, I don't do the cards, but look, I'm not judging those who do. Get yours. Don't feel bad at all. Feel good and feel proud. You pay taxes. You an American, God damn it. Get your money.
Yes, no. I mean,
and if you're the kind of person that's shaming people getting their money, your mama's a whore.
Well, no, I would rather say your dad's a trans. That's really more insulting these days.
Your dad was in a room with Andrew Gillum. If you don't like people getting their EDD card benefits.
Oh, let's do him real fast.
Let's talk about Andrew Gillum.
Oh, God. Look. Andrew, damn. Dude, I will say this. I'm not surprised. Nothing's shocking. Just, you need to work on that mascara. It doesn't look that good on you.
He looked like the circus sign in Vegas with that shit on his eyes.
No, he reminds me of a puppet that looks like a camel. Wasn't that there was a camel for one of the shows? I think Lamb Chop. Remember Lamb Chop and Shari? He's got eyelashes like Lamb Chop. So look, he's trying to recreate himself. What will happen, I believe in my heart of hearts, is that the white gay community will reject Gillum, and he will have come out of the closet in vain. He may as well continue to lie to himself and others.
Yeah, they're gonna reject it. I think he's gonna try to make that push to be the bisexual congressman, and people are like, nah.
Well, look, here's the thing. The real problem that the gay folk have with him is that they're trying to cast the gay lifestyle as 100% wholesome and wonderful, and that they just want to get married like mom and dad. And Gillum being in the big doo-doo ball orgy humpathon, with drugs. And that big suitcase full of drugs make gays look like drugged out, bombed out sex addicts. And so what he did hurts the white LGBTQ movement, that its effort to make it seem as if it's just like what everyone else does when it is not. So they're going to reject him the same way that the gays rejected Kevin Spacey. When he got into trouble with pedophilia, they turned their backs on him. It used to be a time where gay folks, man, they would receive ET if he had syphilis. But now they can cherry pick. And so, we don't care. Yeah, you have a big dick. We all do. Yeah, you have a busted asshole. We all do. No, we don't want you. And they're cherry picking. They're not letting people get with them, because now it's like a varsity team at at the University of Alabama. I mean, so they can afford to say, no, we won't receive this person. You can't be one of us.
Andrew Gillum shit is a diameter of soda cans. He busted all the way out. They want to turn around and want to be our elected leader and trying to come back and have this little bullshit interview with Tamron Hall as if we going to follow him. Look, man, Andrew Gillum, I don't have issues with people who live the gay lifestyle. Let's make that clear. The problem is politically, you tend to legislate your gay lifestyle while ignoring and talking about, and when it comes to time to vote on something black, it's too hard. That wasn't going to happen.
Well,
they wasn't going to let it happen. But when it comes to booty busting activities, you fall on the sword.
No, hold on. Never, ever accept that answer that it's too hard. Because you said dick is hard. You want that. So get us a legislative agenda that serves our community, okay? In fact, you've had a lot of things hard. So, and you're used to things being hard, right? So,
taking that hard shit up and exit. You know how to handle hard shit.
Mm-hmm. So, no, brother, I think that Gillum got caught, and he's trying to recreate himself. It won't work. And I think this week is going to be interesting because, September is going to end, and then October, there are going to be lots of surprises in October. The Trump administration is going to roll out some surprises for Black people to destroy Biden's margin with Blacks. Don't be surprised. It's going to shock people.
I think you made a good point. Well, any closing thoughts you want to leave to the people?
Well, yes. One of the solutions to our problems is that we need to get out of the cities and move to less populated areas, occupy some land, get some farms, have larger families. Black folks need to get back to the land. The cities aren't necessarily safe. In fact, they're emptying out. Chocolate City should be called Munster Cheese City. It's so empty. I mean, I'm like, where are all the yuppers? They're running back out, trying to leave. I kind of love it. All the people from Montana packing up, going away. But our people need to rediscover a real faith in God, and they need to get on the land and start growing and producing things for themselves. We need to find out who we really are instead of trying to be what other people want us to be or be what we think other people are. That's what I'd say to people. The answer is you've got to love yourself and no one else will do it. And we need to feed, clothe, protect, defend. And it doesn't take everyone. It just takes a small group of people. So, brother, I want to say to you, I'm a part of a thing called Salvation. Not Salvation, Sustainable Agriculture, Literacy, Trade and Security, where we've gathered a couple of groups. We're going to meet in the near future to look at what we can do to stimulate agricultural production among Blacks, Black farmers, urban gardens, and I'm hoping that out of it we get some institutions and organizations that get Black people back to what really matters. And one of the key things that's wonderful about a farm is you need hands to do the work. We've replaced owning farms with killing our babies. We should go back to producing our own food and having family. If Black folks got serious and we stopped killing our children and stopped wasting our time hating one another, but actually loving and building and making certain that we ate right, drank right, exercised right, and dealt business with each other, and we created life. And we had families of more than one baby, but maybe 3, maybe 4. I'm not trying to make folk have a trillion, but I mean, we're not reproducing like we should. And if we don't, we will, by virtue of our failure to procreate and be productive, will be replaced by people who didn't have to struggle like we did for what they got. We will have, through our immorality, handed our birthright to people who hate our guts.
That's some real talk. Yeah, and more for that, for those who need help with that, I will be offering my classes again soon through breakthroughes.org, where we're helping Black families communicate in relation. Because for the families that we do have, one of the biggest issues is we have very poor communication and we don't get along. And the solution is through the family. And through my company, breakthrough.as.org. Don't look up the website now. The shit got totally taken down. I had some stuff behind the scenes happen that I'll tell y'all about later. But it's coming back up in the next week or so, where I offer relationship advice and relationship courses on how to communicate better within the family, because my degree is in communication studies, and that's my specialty, on helping families communicate and build relationships and build bonds. Because as we solve the issues through our community, through our families first, then we solve our community issues, and then it extends out. But it all starts with the family, like Dr. Short said. And again, as far as Black culture, I want people to remember, man. Like, I was watching some show earlier with my nieces, and they had these white folks playing the guitar and like basically doing 1950s rock and roll. And to this day, and I saw my nieces looking at it, and I had to let my nieces know, because oftentimes Black people say we have no culture, or they stole our culture, or our culture's been taken from us. No, it hasn't. Our culture is right here and is in plain sight. All the best of our culture is American culture. From the food to, it's not just some history, we picked the cotton. No. It's the food. It's the science. It's also what they call the pseudoscience. You see these psychic places on every street corner? Well, back in the 1800s, they had to come down to the plantation if they needed that information. That's our shit. Our culture bleeds throughout, and it's interwoven within the fabric of America. But we've been told by people who have no culture that we have none. And our culture is right here in front of us. And we have to stop believing that bullshit. We have to take our culture back. I want to, like I said, publicly thank Dr. Randy Short again, because he's helping me really out my show in Cincinnati. I already got the interview with Bobby Rushdown. Dr. Short knows so many people at Motown, and he's helping me out and getting in contact with these people, because I'm interviewing these people one-on-one, because I'm tired of us having to go to Vlad to hear our story. I'm tired of us having to go to them. They don't ever tell our fucking story right. And if it ain't no gossip and bullshit in there, they don't want to tell our story. So it's on us to tell our story, and I'm doing that through my other show, In Cincinnati, and Dr. Short has helped me out with that, because he's getting some of America's greatest music legends. And we're going to talk about this stuff. We're going to talk about our history and talk about our art and our contribution to American history firsthand, because, you know, we that dope. Like Dr. Short, we were talking about Phil yesterday. Paul Reiser, composer from Motown, and how Paul Reiser was somebody who would play the trombone in Motown, but he wrote some of the greatest string arrangements, and it was never had to go to school to do it. It just came. And this is who we are. We know this shit, but Black culture gets connected to the bullshit and not the great shit that we do. Before we leave, real quick, Dr. Short, just tell them a little bit about music, like, and how you feel and what music is to us as a people.
Well, just music is the frequencies of the soul, and music comes from the word muse, which is spirit, so it's spiritual. And sounds carry spirits, like there's a blues tone, and there's certain chords and keys that can cause you to feel good or make you march if it's certain rhythms. So music is a incredible force, and in fact, Black people, like the land that we've been estranged from, we've gotten estranged from our own sounds. We've allowed the computers, the synthesizers, the other things, you know. I know a lot of people, you know, I'm like a half century old. I remember when you could expect for people, you know, to be able to carry a tune, right? I mean, I guess you'll say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Right? I didn't practice. That's on key. We used to have this combination, so harmony. And in fact, that's one of the key things that is lacking is in our music. It's now discordant music. Music that is not harmonic. It's not melodic. I call it rhythm without blues.
That's a good one.
We used to blend as a people. People get together and sing and harmonize. And part of that helped us stay together. I mean, at the core of Black people's culture is the ring shout, where Black people would sing and connect in the spirit and song. And that would help them even when people would work. They would sing in the fields, not because they love picking cotton, but the sound, the music, the frequencies enabled them to cope, to deal, which is why they brought in things like gangster rap and other things to attack the hip hop that we came up with that was loving, friendly, community. You liked it. With this hostile, misogynistic, destructive, music can be a great force for good, or can be a force for darkness. And we need to rediscover our soul in music, rediscover our peace in music. And even in the Black churches, we used to sing our own songs. Now you go to church and these bastards are copying white musicians. We need a racist to teach us how to sing. Pretty soon we're going to get people from the Aryan nations to teach brothers how to rap to sisters. So can you imagine? Now come here, you nigger bitch, before I slap you down. Do you hear me? And they're going to be Black men talking. They're almost doing it now, except, come here, bitch, I'll use right. No. Let me tell y'all to talk to your Black women. Now, when you talk to the Black bitch, you want to tell her that you're going to send her back to Africa. If she doesn't get her knees dirty quick and fast, we'll be going to white races to tell us how to talk to our women. Well, we almost have, the feminists tell sisters how to talk to Black men. So pretty soon Black men will start doing this dumb stuff too, if they're not already doing it. Like the LGBTQ are telling us how to talk to each other. I'm so sensitive. I don't know. I'm gender fluid. I'm Whack Panther. So I'm just saying to you that music it's important to life. The sounds, the frequencies, what you do, it's very much a part of who we are. People need to understand that the planets have sounds that they generate. The stars generate sounds. Bees, birds, even insects, crickets use sound. Whales use sound, sing. Cats sing. In fact, the dogs, puppies, whine. I mean, if a dog has a certain sort of cry or whimper, determines the difference between whether that dog has someone that will take them home and feed them or leave them out there to starve. Even if you look at it, in the beginning was the word. There's like a sound that creates the planets and the earth according to the sacred texts. So music is integral to everything. And by the way, we have to not only retake our food, retake our families, we have to retake our music. And we need to rediscover the Black voice. I think it's a crime that a tramp like Adele has as many hits as Whitney Houston. I don't care how much crack Whitney Houston smoked. I don't care how many times she did whatever with Bobby Brown. She's a much better singer than Adele or everything that's come since, right? I'm just saying.
What makes me disappointed in that? I remember when Adele released that album. Adele is a vanilla, not as sweet, not as creamy, not as good version of Jill Scott. Jill Scott released 2 albums that year. Both albums were better. And I get white people falling over Adele. I get it. But it was the sisters. We got to stop co-signing these people who take our music because they don't take it and share it. They take it to dominate it. And then you look down the line, your kids can't eat from it because it's now seen as a white art form. We got to understand these motherfuckers play the long game when it comes to our music, but they can't do it unless we validate it.
Well, our long game has to be more than our genitalia, brother.
It has to be much longer than that. And Dr. Short, I want to thank you for that, what you said on music, because I think that you broke that down perfectly. And to expound on what he said, if you think about it, when we talk, what do we use? Our vocal cords. Just like in music, you have chords. What keeps our body moving and in line? Our organs. Life is literally a song. And when done right, you can't listen to anything written by Gamble and Huff and not feel good when a song is done. They took that from us. And now we listen to the music, it's very plastic. No, you don't have to sing anymore. It's auto-tunes, it's plastic. And not all music, like we say, it's great music. Kamasi Washington, Anderson .Paak, Brandon Williams. You got a lot of great people out there who aren't on radio. But as far as the people who are on radio, it's a very technical sound, and it's taking everything that is meant, the way music is intended to feed us, that don't get it. So we got to get more into it. We're going to have some shows coming up because we're going to expound into this more on Incense and Ashtrays. We're going to provide y'all with what's missing in music. So I want to thank you again, Dr. Short. I know it's late on your time, your side of the world, your side of the country. Have a good night, and we got to do this again pretty soon, my man.
Very soon.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Thank
Okay.
you, man.
Bye-bye.
I want to thank y'all for listening on Incense and Ashtrays. Incense and Ashtrays is the music show. That's coming soon. I already bought the website domain. I already got the logo. I already have a couple interviews in the book. One is with the legendary Bobby Rush. Look him up, blues singer. It's a great fucking interview. I want y'all guys to listen to it when I drop it, along with a few others that I have coming up. BreakthroughAS.org. I have my classes coming pretty soon. Relationship classes, relationship communication between parent and child, also communication between spouses, friendship. That's where my professional certifications in relationship studies and communication studies. So I see that that's a major issue within Black society. So I'm here to help. I'm here to solve those issues. Those are coming pretty soon. Hotepish.com. Get your t-shirts. Like, share, subscribe. And remember this, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up game. My name is Dewan B. We out.